Yo, welcome to Spectator Sporting. I'm Zach Roach, along with my partner, Mr. Adi Wiley. We got another boxing show for y'all today. If we talking boxing, you know we got Byron here. We got Hard War Bangers in the building. We doing a different type of show today. You probably heard all our shows before, and we call people cupcakes, why ain't y'all fighting? Or just not even that, or some fighters that we expect greatness from that we didn't get greatness from. We kind of been going in, so we decided to dedicate to a show to the most disappointing fighter of 2024. Adi, talk to me. Who is your most disappointing boxer of 2024?
Well, in 2024, no fighter fell off to a deeper level than the Soul Taker, Tim Tszyu.
Ooh, okay.
Tim Tszyu, okay? Coming into 2024, Tim Tszyu was a WBO champ at the 154-pound division, and he was a top dog at the 154-pound division. And when Terrence Crawford announced his goal to become undisputed at the junior middleweight division, it was the general consensus that Tim Tszyu would be his most difficult challenger, okay? But unfortunately, Sebastian Fundora cut Tim Tszyu on the top of his head in their fight. He was bleeding, it was a bloodbath. Tim Tszyu could barely see, and he ended up losing to Sebastian Fundora in that fight. It was a major setback, and now Fundora is playing hide and seek with the WBC and WBO belts. He's doing all the hiding and fooling around with Errol Spence Jr. With a fight that keeps getting pushed back and back and back again and back and back. Maybe they'll fight 2027. I don't know.
We're about 28.
Yeah, so he just holding the belt. Strip that man, please, okay? But the Soul Taker got one more chance to secure a belt, the IBF belt, okay? To get him much closer to his dream fight against Terrence Crawford. That's all he wanted since Terrence Crawford came up to 154. That's what Tim Tszyu wanted. He had a chance at that IBF belt, but Bagram Murtazaliev in those left hooks, he dropped Tim Tszyu about 4 or 5 times in that fight.
Yeah.
Tim Tszyu did not see them left hooks coming.
In front of his daddy.
Yes, and it was like, yeah. So
You just made it a lot worse. You get your ass in front of your daddy.
Costa Tszyu came through to support his son, and he upset of the year. That was upset of the year candidate right there.
Yeah.
Murtazaliev defending his belt, and it looks like his dream to fight Terrence Bud Crawford will stay just that, a dream. I don't think they're ever gonna fight.
So Adi says Tim Tszyu, Byron. A lot of fighters. I know you've been,
I'm a Tim Tszyu fan, so that hurt that whole segment.
It hurt me too. It hurt me. It hurt. I like Tim Tszyu.
All the shows we have, you told me a lot of fighters that ain't getting the job done.
Yes.
What are they thinking?
Yes.
Why are they not doing this? Who is your most disappointing fighter of 2024?
Wait. I got $5. I got $5 to say I know who it is.
How about, let me set the stage for my pick.
Go ahead.
This is the only fighter in the history,
Oh man, here we go.
in the history of this show,
Here we go.
to be the worst fighter of a year based on a press conference.
Okay.
On 6/15, little Tank Davis.
I knew it. I got that. That was an easy bet. Okay.
Little Tank Davis knocked out Frank Martin, and it was a lackluster fight that wooed the standage and the masses. Tank has returned. He's back. He's going to do work. He is everything that boxing needs. He is the face of boxing. And then Lomachenko decided he didn't want to fight Tank in the end quarter of 2024. And as I predicted, Tank Davis sat on his ass. Tank Davis, after one of the longest layoffs of his career, who said that he would stay active, who said he's getting right back to the drawing board, who said that him and his camp is ready to make moves at 135 to show that he is definitively the best 135-pound fighter on the planet, gave us a press conference to announce his fight against Lamont. I am not Roach's cousin.
My cousin might win, okay?
In this press conference, the face of boxing went through many phases of emotion. How he wants to retire, how he feels that boxing affects his emotions, and he wants to be more of a guy who can be a great father, which I can tip my hat to. But my problem is 615, you are announcing a conqueror's welcome back to the 135-pound division. And now, months later, we have a Lamont Roach fight against a guy who's smaller than you, who's not even at 135, and no type of outlook to fight a Shakur Stevenson, a Keyshawn Davis, anyone outside of Lomachenko at 135. Look, let me tell you something about Tank Davis. Tank Davis said that he is going to retire next year. And on this list of people that he wants to fight, in the last year, in the latter year of his career, Ryan Lion Garcia.
Ooh.
Rematch.
Tank is a fraud. He's a fake. He's a phony. He's a duck. And if I have to pick one fighter that I'm disappointed in 2024, it has to be the guy who at 30-0 has the imagination of the American boxing public, but has absolutely nothing to show for as far as accolades that can further his career. He is a prize fighter who doesn't want the prize. He just wants the money. So you, little Tank Davis, are my most disappointing fighter of 2024. 2025, I'm going to just go ahead and put you in that category then too. Because I think you're going to fight 2 bullshit fights and then semi-retire.
You know how you just felt about him talking about Tim Tszyu? Mm-hmm. That's how I felt about you talking.
and I'm glad.
I do want to say, I want to add a little. I add a little to the Tank thing because I'm disappointed.
Yeah,
I'm really like. I'm
a little disappointed. I
Tank.
can't dispute it. That's what
Yeah.
I don't have a good argument for it. So.
I would say this. Tank Davis says before he retires at age 30 in 2025, he wants one more fight. Gervonta Davis wants to fight, like Byron said, a rematch against King Rye. Or he wants to kick Teofimo Lopez's ass for making those racist comments about him and Bud Crawford.
Yeah. I'm all about the Teofimo fight.
Yes, me too. But, however, Teofimo Lopez and King Rye is highly unlikely that they will fight at 135 again. That's totally unlikely.
And King Lion ain't even fighting at 140.
Right, he barely made 140 when he fought. He was 143 or something when he fought with Devin
Fraud.
Okay, so but the funny thing is, and then Tank Davis said he doesn't feel comfortable at 140. But the thing is, here's the thing. Tank Davis knocked out Mario Barrios at 140, and Mario Barrios is currently a WB a champ at 147. Okay?
So what does that say about the 147 division?
Well, it's weak.
It's weak.
Okay, it's a weak.
Which goes to my honorable mention.
Yeah.
Coming up next.
But here's what I found out. Bro. I found something out. The more I listen to Tank Davis, the more brain cells I lose. Okay? He makes no fucking sense.
None.
And so he talking about, when they talk about Shakur Stevenson to Tank, he gets pissed off. He's like, he ain't did nothing. He whack as hell. I can't fight him. He's too whack. But then you fight Lamont Roach. Okay?
Hey, look, we got to stop disrespecting Lamont Roach, man.
Lamont Roach. He
With all due respect to Roach cousins.
But Shakur Stevens is better than Lamont Roach.
He's better.
So you can't say, man, Shakur too whack for me to fight. He too whack. And then you fight Lamont Roach. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. So it's like, with Tank, only thing you can do is just wait for what he's going to do.
Yeah.
That's the only thing you can do. Who is he going to sign?
But he already said, I don't fight for the belts. I fight for the money. You want the easiest route, you the most disappointing. And you the most disappointing for the next 2 years because we gotta see you. We gotta see you next year fight 2 more bullshit fights before you semi-retire because you ain't going away long.
Dang.
Back to you, Harv.
Goodness gracious. Oh man.
Attack.
Listen.
Come on, Tank Stands.
Hey, listen, I can't argue. Look, I'm a Tank fan. I'm the Tank fan up here, and right now, like, I'm not feeling the fight. But what we always say about fighting tomato cans and stuff, be careful. Because you're gonna run into the wrong tomato can.
Shout out Meat Gear.
Yeah, you're gonna run into the wrong tomato can one day. So you can't. It's better just to go ahead and fight who you're supposed to fight rather than fight somebody and lose and end up losing to somebody that you ain't supposed to lose to. Harv or Banger. You heard by Tank Davis. You heard Adi, Tim Tszyu. Who is your most disappointing fight of 2024?
Oh, wait, you took Tank already. You took Tim Tszyu.
Yeah.
I'm going with Jaime Munguia.
Okay.
You go in there, and you go in there against Canelo, and you go in there, you get dropped, you look mediocre. I look at I look at his
stand base is strong. Why is it so strong?
I don't know, but check this out. You go look at his list of opponents, and man, you probably out of 40 plus fighters, you're only gonna recognize 5 people out of those 40.
Yeah.
He's been carefully managed his whole career.
Golden boy, right?
Right? You finally get the Canelo fight. I'm not surprised he lost. I was hoping he would win, but I'm not surprised he lost. But then you come back with a rebound fight that you are surely supposed to win.
Right.
You're supposed to get this guy out of you're supposed to get him out of there quick fast. The guy had how many KOs? 4 or something like that.
And
then you go and get knocked the fuck out.
He had that guard down. He got
knocked the fuck out. And you dropped him before he dropped you.
Right.
And he knocked you the fuck out.
Yeah. I told you. I never believed you, Meat Gear.
Most disappointing fighter of the year simply because he got exposed this year. And he exposed an ugly spot of boxing. And you know what that ugly spot is? How he got to 40-0.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And then you fight somebody like Canelo, you lose.
Yeah.
And then you fight someone like I don't even know this motherfucker's name.
And you're carried in the loss, in the Canelo loss. And it was carried in that loss.
And then you get knocked the fuck out in your hometown.
In your hometown.
Fighting in his hometown.
In front of your family.
Yeah. Yo, so listen.
Whole familia.
I don't blame you for Tank. I don't blame y'all for Tim. But undoubtedly, fucking Jaime Munguia is worse. He's worse than both of you guys. Come on. Hear me out.
I don't know. Tim Tszyu.
No, he didn't cherry pick
had a big bag.
He didn't cherry pick
all Tim Tszyu, and that's why that's why it hurt. Because out of all of these, Tim Tszyu probably got the most nuts out of everybody. Out of all, Tim Tszyu is a hell of a fighter.
I almost want to take him off the list.
Yeah,
right.
But he is right. It is disappointing. But if he wins that fight, he has the fight at Crawford. Madrimov Crawford never happens. It's Tim Tszyu versus Crawford.
Yeah.
That would have been a great.
And oh my God.
It's disappointing. But imagine what Terrence Crawford would have did to him. You see what Terrence did to
Crawford probably would have knocked out Tim Tszyu. Crawford probably would have knocked him out.
Yo, get knocked out.
That got him the Canelo fight.
Exactly. But getting knocked out by Crawford is a push forward.
Yeah.
Then getting knocked out by
Murtazalia.
Like
who?
Exactly.
But Munguia losing, getting knocked out by the no-name guy in his hometown makes Canelo look worse for not knocking him out.
It
exposed Canelo.
Yeah.
It exposed Canelo and it exposed boxing in many ways. Think about this. When you mention Munguia's name, you're not mentioning a regular name in boxing.
No.
This guy has
40 plus fights.
Yeah.
Come on, man. That name is that should be a legacy name. If you got 40 plus fights and you're undefeated,
Right.
He just got exposed.
His first loss was to Canelo, and then his second loss was to a no-name that knocked him out.
Yeah.
But Canelo couldn't knock him out.
And
the greatest fighter of the
we
generation.
see you, Canelo. Duck, we see you.
And he's probably the #1 fighter of the decade. You got to give it to Canelo. Who else?
You better not.
No, not the 2020s.
No way.
No. I'm giving it to
No.
Usyk. I'm giving it to Usyk.
Yeah. Usyk.
Well, we ain't in past, so we talking about
Usyk
starting in
or Crawford?
2020?
Yeah, 2020. Yeah.
Okay, so right,
Usyk or
yeah.
Crawford?
Yeah, Usyk or Crawford.
Usyk
I say
or Crawford.
right now.
Well, Usyk-
And I believe Usyk
Usyk-
is head front runner. Like he said,
Usyk was
front runner.
undisputed in the 2010s.
2010s,
So
yeah.
you can't count
You
that.
can't count that, right.
No.
So you're only counting him off of the.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, off of them when he came to heavyweight.
And we still got time.
Canelo became undisputed in
But right
2020.
now-
Yeah, but he did multiple.
Right now, as far as front
Right,
runner,
Usyk was only in that.
Front runner.
Right, what you got?
Usyk is.
Front runners.
He beat Fury twice. That puts him up there. Now, if Crawford unifies 154, then it's Crawford.
Damn, I forgot all about Crawford.
Don't forget. Don't forget.
Actually, it should go to Crawford.
Yeah.
Crawford.
No,
he's undisputed in two
right
classes
now.
in the
It's
2020.
we're going into
He did.
2025. We're talking about the decade.
Oh yeah, he did do 2020.
Yeah, he did. He
So-
did.
Yeah. Damn, right now, I think it's
It's Terrence Crawford.
I think after Usyk beats Fury twice, I think he's a front runner.
But that only makes him undisputed in one weight class.
That's true.
You right about that. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
true.
You know, that's the only thing that separated.
So, Adi Timzu, Byron, Tank Davis, Harv Warbangers, Jaime Munguia. Munguia. Yes.
Meat.
I'm gonna say this is more. Once again, this is more of a fan thing, and because I feel like this man got so much talent, I'm gonna go Anthony Joshua. Okay, yeah,
I thought about it.
Yeah, 28 and 4. I mean, this dude is very talented. You talk about a physique. You look at this guy. You know, this guy looks like he's the most in shape. He's got the most muscles. He's got it all. And it's been in 2000.
Steroids.
I don't know about it. In 2019, he blew an opportunity where he could have became the man with losing to Andy Ruiz. But he rebounded from that. He rebounded. He beat Andy Ruiz, and then Usyk. All of a sudden, we talked about it our last show. Those losses were not bad losses.
No.
Those were good losses. But then he goes on to win against Jermaine Franklin, Robert Helenius, Otto William, and then and beats Ngannou. And I love the Ngannou fight. I understand he's a UFC guy, but I love the focus he had against Ngannou. He was like, nope, you're not finna go I'm gonna knock you out in the second round. That's it. I'm not playing with you. You know, I'm finishing you.
Ngannou's second.
And then it looked like from that moment on, I thought we had a different Anthony Joshua. I was like, okay, this man is a focus. He is locked in. And then, dang you, the ball happened. And he was knocked down however many times and in a 5th round knockout. So this is the second time he let history repeat itself.
Yeah.
He let it repeat itself. If he could have handled his business, now Dubai turns out is a great fighter. So he's a great fighter. So he's legit.
Steroids.
Yeah, whatever it is.
But I think it's a blessing because even if Anthony Joshua wins that fight, you don't want to fight Usyk because if it plays out like it did, Usyk beats Fury,
It would have been a trilogy fight.
and who the hell wanted to see that?
Okay. So you know what?
So I think it's a
Played out
blessing
good.
in disguise. I think it's a blessing you get a shot at Fury. You know, Fury Usyk beats
Joshua.
Fury, and now you get a shot at Fury, which is to me is a fight that he has a way better chance to win as far as a trilogy with Usyk because Usyk will probably retire or go to cruiser. Because why would he want a trilogy with a guy that he dominated twice?
So that's why I said Anthony Joshua because he had 2 opportunities to be the man,
His
the
loss gonna turn
undisputed
into
champ
a
in that
blessing.
division.
He did.
He gonna have a loss turn into a blessing
And he blew it.
because he gonna sell out Wembley.
Yeah.
And that's a blessing.
So,
Then knock out Fury.
man, listen.
Who you
man.
bet on that?
Hey,
It's possible.
It's possible.
we'll see.
We won't be friends if it happens.
But that's my most disappointing. We all talked about our boxers that we thought was disappointed. Adi had Tim Tszyu, Byron Tank Davis, Harv Warbangers had Jaime Munguia, and I had Anthony Joshua. But let's talk about some honorable mentions. Somebody that could have been your guy, but you decided the other guy was more. Harv Warbangers. Who was your honorable mention?
Man, you know, honorable mentions, I believe it deserves to be plural, and I'm gonna run through them really quick.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So Shakur Stevenson, First, poor performance, hand injuries. I felt like this could have been a year he capitalized and actually fought against some good opponents. Devin Haney. I felt like ever since the loss against Garcia, he spoiled himself. Now he's doing this lawsuit. I feel like he's doing nothing but causing his image more harm. Next, I got Andre. I felt like Andre still had a lot of Demetrius Andre. I felt like he still had a lot of good fights left on the table. It's too early for him to retire. Caleb Plant, Charlo. The list could go on. Charlo. It's a lot of good fights out there for him. A lot of money too. So he's one. Sabriel Matias got exposed this year.
Yeah.
He was a hot prospect at the beginning of this year, and then he fought an actual boxer, which I knew was what was going to eventually happen, and he got exposed, and now he is in rebuild mode. That was my list of disappointments.
Damn.
Who's next, Roach?
Hey, I love it. Adi, honorable mentions. You said Tim Tszyu was the guy for you.
Yeah.
He was the one the most disappointing. Who was the guy you was like, if it wasn't Tim Tszyu, who would it be?
It would be the 154-pound WBA champion in recess, Iron Man Charlo.
Ooh,
Yes.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
That is a good one. I like it. I like it.
Yeah, I was disappointed, man. In just 1 year, he went from undisputed champ, had all the belts, to no belts, okay? He vacated his IBF belt because he refused to fight Bakram Murtazaliev. Then he lost his WBO belt because he did not fight his mandatory challenger, Tim Tszyu, okay? Iron Man Charlo has not fought since last September, 2023 September versus Canelo Alvarez. That's how long it's been, okay? Now, a few months after that fight against Canelo Alvarez in September 2023, Charlo was arrested for a domestic, and his wife filed for a restraining order and a divorce. So surely that's a huge reason why he didn't fight in 2024.
It's a bad year.
Yeah, horrible year for him. But the 34-year-old,
I don't know. Hope everything work out for him.
A moment of silence for his career.
There we go.
Can't give up hope on Charlo though. He's 34 years old, and he said on social media recently that recess is over with. Okay. And he also said he's not going to mess around the super middleweight division or the middleweight division. He's going back to all the smoke where he got all the belts. Okay, at 154, he's trying to go back down there. Even if Bud Crawford leaves and try to chase Canelo, chase the dragon. Canelo, keeps chasing him. Crawford want to chase him and leave 154. Then he still got good options with Tim Tszyu, Israel Madrimov, Sebastian Fundora, Virgil Ortiz, Bakram Murtazaliev, El Flaco, Sergey El Flaco, Berchuk. So there's a lot of smoke at 154. My favorite division in boxing, because those guys, they want all the smoke. There's no.
It's hard to duck. It's hard to duck at that.
Ain't nowhere to run.
Exactly.
Ain't nowhere to run.
So Jermell Charlo coming back to 154 would make it even much more dynamic. But he was disappointing as hell.
Now I'm really interested in Byron. Right. There we go. Because
You can't use tape twice.
yeah, you can't use tape.
Can you?
Honorable mention.
Come on, man.
Listen. You use Tank Daniels.
Okay.
You brought up valid
Quick
points.
question. Does everybody want to pile on me like y'all piled on Tyson Fury? I believe in revenge. But listen, what if you fight a guy after beating him, right? You beat a guy soundly, and then you fight him again, and the win isn't as sound as it was the first time. What if after that fight, you claim you want to move up to one of the deepest divisions in boxing?
I know where you're going. I got it.
But then you kind of change your mind after that.
I got it.
I mean, everybody knows who my honorable mention is. Boots Ennis.
Yep.
What are you doing? And listen, you don't have to get divorced or take major losses to make my list. All you have to do is prematurely F up my 2025, and then you're on my list. And Boots Ennis is most certainly on my list. This man, after a disappointing win against Karen Kajuka-san. I know I effed up his name.
Sugar John.
Announced that 147.
That's a hell of a name.
He announced that 147 just didn't feel right, and he was gonna take his talents north. He was going to 154, and of course, staring him in the face was about with Madrimov, a guy that just tangled with one Terrence Crawford. And I have never seen a 147-pound man backpedal so fast.
Well, he was supposed to fight Virgil Ortiz, though, right?
I mean, it was.
That was after that.
It was after,
that was after the
it was
Madrimov.
after the Madrimov.
Oh.
So initially, it was a fight with Madrimov,
Right.
who is under his handler's banner, and he backpedaled.
Okay.
Then there was a possible bout on the deepest card probably ever seen in this decade,
True.
where he would fight Virgil Ortiz, and he backpedaled again.
That's right.
So when you backpedal after getting in the ring, announcing that one weight isn't comfortable and you want to go up, but then when you go up, it's nothing but smoke, and you don't like neither one of those options, so you run back to 147, you're disappointed.
Yeah.
And so Boots Ennis, you're disappointing, man, because you said one thing, you meant another, but in actuality, what it is
He had to think like, wait a minute.
I mean, yeah, you said
I
one
didn't know he was that
thing,
good.
and then you meant another, and really what it
That
is,
147.
Boots Ennis is part of Twitter Nation. He's one of those guys on Twitter. He calls out one Terrence Crawford every time he breathes, and he puts himself on a pedestal where he feels that he is one of the best in boxing. But the thing is, to be the best in boxing is to face challenges, like my man Tim Tszyu. If Tim Tszyu is faced with a challenge, he's gonna go and he's gonna either, go through it or down his sword. And that's what he did.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
All right. You know what? As a boxing fan, I probably shouldn't say this, but as someone in boxing that sees what happens and the results of these fights, I almost regret having Tim Tszyu fight against Fundora and the other guy he lost to, because if you really, really look at what's behind the numbers, imagine if he never fought them and he would have won those next two fights.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
It'd be a totally different conversation.
Right. But now look what we're stuck with. Sebastian Fundora, what the fuck is he
Yeah,
gonna do?
that's true.
He's supposed to fight Errol. He messed around with this Errol Spence stuff, but Errol Spence is on bullshit.
What do you think? Like it's disheartening, right?
It speaks to boxing. It's why Boots Ennis. Back to you, Boots.
Sorry about that.
Like you're all part of that problem.
He is.
You are part of that problem, and you sell your fans on this fake greatness that you truly don't want to aspire to. You want to unify a weak division so that you can boost your price tag, but really what you're trying to do is age out one Terrence Crawford. You don't want to fight Crawford now because Crawford would dominate you now, and you don't even want to fight people that Crawford beats because Crawford doesn't fight cupcakes. Crawford doesn't fight tomato cans.
Sounds like Magia. Sounds like he's taking a page out of Jaime Magia.
And I think Boots Ennis is. I think Tank Davis is. And that's why both of them are 1 and 2 on my 2024 most disappointing list.
But Boots Ennis, he's supposed to be trying to fight Teofimo Lopez.
Possibly.
Another guy that's a candidate.
Who's not at 147.
Yeah.
I agree.
You said that you were coming back to unify 147.
Yeah,
so why would I want to see you against a 140-pound fighter?
That's not a unification fight.
Boots! You're exposing yourself. You're exposing yourself.
Who do you want to see him fight?
Who do I want to see Boots face? No, listen. Because of the shit
at
that
147.
Boots. No. Okay, Brian Norman. But back to him.
Okay.
That's the only person I want to see him at 147. Okay. I want to see him against Brian Norman, and I think he can win that fight. But because of all the shit that you talk about Terrence Crawford and how you deserve a fight with him, I actually want to see you move up to 154 and fight Madrimov. I want to see that fight. I want to see you against a bigger puncher, a slicker puncher, because I think Madrimov, without that threat of that counter punching, I think he's a different fighter than the fighter that we saw against Crawford. because I'm actually higher on Madrimov after that Crawford fight. I'm like, this kid does have skills. Yeah. So I want to see him against somebody who claim that they better than Terrence
He
Crawford.
isn't for anybody half as good as Madrimov.
Yeah, but I'm saying, I want to, hey, in 2025, I want to see hype trains derail.
Byron.
I want to see Tank Davis versus Shakur Stevenson. That's a loss for Tank Davis. And I want to see Boots Ennis. And I want to see Boots Ennis. I want to see Boots Ennis versus Madrimov. And I think that's a loss for Boots Ennis.
Man, listen, that's a good point. Yeah, we got some good point with Boots. So
I will put my money where my mouth is.
A lot of fighters out here. We listen. As boxing fans, we just want to see good fights. We want to see fighters take fights. One person I'm disappointed in, even though he won the fight, the fact that he let the BS happen and it just distorted our victory of him is Ryan Garcia.
I had him.
Ryan Garcia, because you went into that fight, you beat the shit out of Devin Haney, but to have a case
drugs,
to even that to be a part of the conversation, your team and everybody you was training with, that just messed up your whole legacy, because that Devin Haney that night. When he beat Devin Haney that night,
drugs won. He actually did.
He was the man.
Devin Haney is undefeated.
Yeah, it don't count. But I'm just saying the fact that night, before we knew about the steroids, whatever. I ain't gonna say steroids. I'm sorry. Whatever the banned substance. That's what you call it.
And he missed weight. He missed weight too.
Yeah.
So you were doping and you missed weight.
The banned substance. To even have that even a part of the conversation, to where it makes your victory, even though how resounding it looked, how good it looked, how much you dominated, it just took away everything, and we can't take you serious. So Ryan Garcia, to me, and now it gives more credence to Byron's argument against Tank Davis, because I can't look at that victory that Tank Davis had against Ryan Garcia the same now.
Tank is a circus.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Tank is a circus.
Right.
Tank is a circus.
Yeah, so like
Tank is, he fights circus acts.
So I don't
Rolly Romero, I mean, you run down Tank list, it ain't elite. It ain't nowhere near elite.
Time out. Ryan Garcia.
Okay, put me back in perspective.
He defeated Devin Haney, okay?
Yeah.
Now
he did not defeat Devin Haney.
But here's the thing.
Devin Haney is undefeated.
He's undefeated.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he did not lose because of Osterring. He lost because
cheated
of the
and
bow
he
and
came in
arrow.
overweight.
Floyd Mayweather said why he lost that fight. He threw his jab and he did the bow and arrow. He left his right hand down and he took the left hooks from Ryan Garcia, something that Tank Davis did not take from Ryan Garcia because he blocked the left hook, and Devin Haney did not block it. He was unprepared. That's why he lost.
I
agree with Roach that it's disappointing because he would have beat Devin Haney without the Osterring. He did not lose because of Osterring. He lost because he's unprepared.
We would never know.
Arrogant. And when Devin Haney found out that Ryan Garcia was going to miss weight on the weigh-in, he said, I'm going to fight him anyway. It doesn't matter if he weighs more. Just like Keyshawn Davis fought Lemos, right? Keyshawn Davis just won when my man Lemos came in there.
Why you got to bring up Devin Haney? He's not part of this.
Keyshawn Davis came in.
We talking about
he fought Old Boy, and he knocked him out in the second round?
It sounds like it's a whole Haney segment.
So the thing is, Devin Haney was like, I don't care if you 3 pounds overweight. I'm gonna beat you anyway. You whatever. Because he ran away from Shakur Stevenson, and then he moved up to 140. He thought 140 was sweet and a cakewalk, and then he got his ass knocked down all around the ring. And then
we're talking about Ryan Garcia.
We're gonna say he lost because of Osterring. So, but
the fact that he let it be a part of the conversation, maybe it wasn't him, maybe it was his team.
Illegal substances.
Yeah.
You lose.
I agree.
What the heck are we talking about?
So he lost. He didn't. The fact that he would have.
Ryan Garcia is a cheater. His whole career is disappointing. He can't even make weight in a circus fight. And let's not forget that.
But if
let's not forget that he's also signed to Oscar De La Hoya, Golden Boy Promotions, and I'm not throwing shade on Oscar De La Hoya. I like the Clapback Thursday. I like everything he does. He was a great boxer.
Zesty dancing in the bikinis?
I didn't. Did I say?
You said you like everything.
When it pertains to boxing.
Okay.
Promotion-wise. Promotional-wise. Boxing promotion-wise.
Damn,
Yeah, that went out of context. You know what I'm saying? It threw me off, actually. Where was I?
Okay, you talking about De La Hoya.
De La Hoya and Golden Boy.
Okay. Ryan Garcia. That's who I was talking about. Ryan Garcia. Okay, so back to Ryan Garcia. I was saying all that to say that Ryan Garcia has definitely hurt himself in as a public image in the media, as a boxer or whatever else, right? But he also had a fight that is supposed to happen against this guy
in Japan.
But he got hurt and he couldn't fight.
Hold on. But before all that happened, De La Hoya went on social media and said he signed to me. How is he making a fight with someone else when I'm his promoter / manager?
Yeah.
So technically, that fight wasn't gonna happen anyway because he wouldn't have made a dime off it. You know, it was a
lot of speculation why it got thrown out. Yeah,
Right.
it's a breach of the contract. Then it got thrown out there that because there was a catch weight, and there was a lot of it was said. That he wasn't gonna make that catch weight.
Right. But let me say something about Ryan Garcia, okay? I think he get too much heat.
A lot.
Because it's other fighters that got caught with this bullshit in their system to ban substances, and they said a lot of athletes, Canelo Alvarez, you know what I'm saying? It's other the guy that Oscar Valdez, that Shakur Stevenson beat at super featherweight, he had some bullshit in his system. Yeah. And then, you know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers, okay, I had it in my system. Yeah. Now I'm not going to have it in my system no more. Okay? Now Canelo don't have it in his system no more. And when they called his ass, he didn't have it. And then what did he do? He became great, right?
That's right.
So why can't Garcia do the same thing Canelo did? So what I'm saying is, are we going to say that Ryan Garcia is, if he's saying 140, who's beating Ryan Garcia? Is Devin Haney beating him if he's clean against Ryan Garcia?
Yes.
Is Hitchens going to beat him? Okay, is Alberto going to beat Ryan Garcia?
I got an answer to
Is Jose Rayo going to beat Ryan Garcia at 140? So clean. I mean,
but he said he can't.
We can't make it. We trying to make it seem like he sucked because he had Osprey in his system. That's bullshit.
But you remember Terrell Miller? Big baby, heavyweight.
Yeah.
You remember when he's beating everybody's ass?
Yeah. Then he got popped.
And now he's fighting and he looks like
he normal as hell.
Okay.
We don't know what Ryan Garcia is.
How do we know? How do we know Ryan Garcia not?
But this is what we do know.
Okay,
listen, just based on.
Here's how you can tell. All the people he fought and beat were mediocre fighters.
That's true.
When he stepped up.
Listen. One thing we can say for sure. Hold on. One thing we can say for sure is Ryan Garcia can't make weight at 140. Ryan Garcia came out in his own words and said, I can't make 140. So that means we're having a conversation about 147 pound / 154 pound fighter.
Good point.
Is Ryan Garcia relevant enough to be relevant at 154?
Can he get a no? Forget 154, 147. Can he get a title at 147?
Can he get a title?
Yeah, can he beat Mario Barrios? Mario Barrios, Stanionis.
He can beat Barrios.
Stanionis.
Garcia can sell. That's one thing he can do. He
can sell.
He can sell.
People make it seem like he won because of the Oscar.
I don't think he won because
my thing is prove a weight that you can make and
I'm
stay
disappointed because that became a part of the conversation.
Right. Well,
that's what's disappointing.
This is the reason why.
That was a good pick.
The reason why they're saying that is because he wouldn't have made the weight without it.
Right.
So if he didn't take the Oscarines, then the fight would have never happened.
Yeah.
So technically. They're right. Without the Oscarine, he wouldn't have beat Devin Haney because he would have never made the weight.
Right.
So they wouldn't.
So that it didn't help the performance.
Right.
It just helped a bigger man cut some quick pounds, rehydrate back up to fight night,
and it's illegal.
The smaller
and it's illegal.
But there was a couple other fights that took Oscarine before in the past, and they lost.
Right. But
so it doesn't help you win.
You know what? And I'm not saying it takes away from his performance because I am actually a fan of Ryan Garcia. I actually like Ryan
I do too. Yeah.
You know?
I think he's a piece of shit.
I'm happy. I was like, when he beat Devin Haney, I'm not going to say I hate Devin Haney.
Why?
But I strongly dislike him.
Me too.
All right? Because I feel like he's a walking contradiction. I feel like he represents, he says he's a Muslim, but he doesn't act like one.
So it's deeper than, it's on a deeper level of why.
I mean, I'm
talking about Devin Haney the fighter. Devin Haney, the undisputed Still trying to be undisputed in multiple divisions.
Suing.
You didn't let me finish.
I mean, he should sue.
Time out. He just said some bullshit.
He should sue.
Byron just said some bullshit. He just said he's trying to be undisputed in multiple divisions. But then he take a fight with Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia didn't have a belt.
It was a money fight.
So he's not trying to be undisputed.
It was a money fight.
He ran away from Shakur Stevenson, who was his mandatory challenger, and moved up and fight Regis program.
He moved away from a weight that he said he wasn't comfortable in no more. He moved away from a division that he unified the championships in. He said it was getting too hard to make the weight, and he moved up.
It was getting too hard.
Now, but he moved up to 140, and he hasn't came back to 135.
Who did he beat that we giving?
But you're a Tank Davis fan.
Yeah.
You're a Tank Davis fan, right? And he won't fight Shakur Stevenson, but he's fighting somebody at 130.
He won't
Make it
fight
make
Devin
sense.
He won't fight Devin Haney.
Make it make sense, Ade.
All right, so listen, man. There's a lot going on here. Hopefully these guys in 2025 change our perception. So maybe they'll take those fights. Maybe they'll get some big victories. We'll see. You've been watching Spectator Sporting. I'm Zach Roach, along with my partner, Mr. Adi Wiley. Shout out to Burn.
Every negative comment I'm responding. You better be
Hard
careful.
war bangers. In the meantime, in between time, we out. Peace.
Peace.